The year after high school was tough. Nah, scratch that. It was the worst year of my life. I failed all the exams I wrote because I was bullied, and the worst part, it was an exam that people normally pass. Everyone heard, and every time I walked past people in the group, the whispering started. I could hear every word. I wanted to shout, "You're doing a horrible job of whispering, I can hear you guys." I was used as a bad example, and when people looked at me, I could see the laughter in their eyes. Everyone around me was either disappointed or drinking my feeling like fine wine, and as a result, I was isolated. I tried my best to avoid looking at anyone when I walked out, and I also ignored their fake pity. After that, I don't know exactly when it happened, but something changed. I noticed that I stopped enjoying the things I loved. I could only think negative thoughts, and when I needed relief, I grabbed my phone and earphones, and like every sad kid at the time, I listened to sad music. XXXTentacion, Shiloh Dynasty, those kind of songs. After a while, I couldn't take it anymore, and I told myself, I guess I'll end it all. After all, I'm worthless, right? The world would be better off without me, right? Then I'll do it for you. Crazy enough, or now that I think about it, it's not crazy, but anime saved me from taking my life. Here's how anime saved me. I started watching anime again. You see, I already picked a date. I knew the poison I'd use and where I'd get it from. I told myself, killing yourself with poison will be painful, but on the bright side, it'll be the last pain you feel in this world. When the date I picked was getting closer, my brother told me, a new Dragon Ball series is airing now, and it turns out that it was Dragon Ball Super. A lot of episodes were out and I binged all of them. After that, I said, I wish next week would come first, because I wanted to know what happened next. Waiting for one episode a week was boring, so I watched more anime while I was waiting for the next Dragon Ball episode, and I found myself looking forward to a new week. I didn't know that the date I picked had passed, and when I realized, I laughed at myself. Anime made me have fun when life itself wasn't very fun. Dragon Ball aired for over 2 years after that, and by the time I finished, I had watched more anime, rewritten the exams and passed them, gotten tips from anime to conquer the depression and move forward in life. Toriyama saved me. I'm not a fan of tattoos, but if I got one, it'll probably be Goku. Dragon Ball also taught me to take care of myself. A couple of weeks before my brother told me about Dragon Ball, I went to my friend's place because it was one of the few people I could have fun with without being mocked or judged. When his mom saw me, she shouted and said, "You've lost so much weight, you look like a skeleton. What happened? You're still a kid. You don't need to be thinking so much. You're too young for that." I didn't get it in the moment, but after a while, I got it. Weeks after, I watched Dragon Ball and I kind of envied Goku for being so happy, but I also decided to learn from him. I noticed that he took care of himself by eating a lot, exercising and sleeping well, so I decided to copy him. Although I couldn't eat as much as he did, and I couldn't work out by fighting planet busters. After all, he's Saiyan and I'm human. When I did that, I noticed I was in a better mood and it helped a lot. It really did. After that, I did all the things I used to love. I had so much fun watching anime again, and I discovered anime like Assassination Classroom, Magi, Akatsuki no Yona, One Punch Man and some others, and because of that, I decided to do other things that I loved. I went to the football pitch for the first time in a very long time, and when my friends saw me stepping on the sidelines, they stopped the match for a while and ran to me screaming, "You're back, I thought you stopped playing football. What happened to you? Did you come to play or watch?" And I told them, I'm going to play, but since it's the first time in a while, I won't be very good, and they were fine with it. I played for a while, but after 10 minutes, I put my hand to my waist, looked up and was gasping for air. I played utter rubbish too, but I was having fun. My friends were teasing me asking, what happened to Ronaldo? After that, I decided to keep going regularly. I also went to the arcade and I couldn't recognize some of the stuff, although the guys who knew me said, "It's been a long time bro, how have you been? We held a tournament but we didn't see you so we thought you've traveled. Let's play and bet like we used to." I told them, I'm rusty so I won't bet, but I'm here to play. And then I spent a couple of hours and it was fun. I had so much fun that I decided to get myself some new video games before I got home. When Rogers was depressed, one of the things that made him recover was doing something he loved. He loved being an adventurer, so he went to the party called Counter around the adventure. During the adventure, he remembered how fun it was and he started doing it regularly. I had to make sure that I was in a good mood every time, so I challenged my negative thoughts. In the past, someone told my brother, "I don't like talking to your brother because you sound like someone that is tired, like someone carrying a heavy load or a burden," and he was right. The burden was my negative thoughts and my past trauma. Every time I was in a conversation with someone, I'd imagine the worst possible scenario or the worst possible thing that they could say to me. I even thought I wasn't worried to be friends with my guys because they could do so much better than me. After a while, I said, I can't keep living like this, so I decided to block those thoughts. Anytime I thought negatively, I turn into a joke, or I think of something funny or interesting instead, and honestly, it worked. Izumi also had a tough time in his elementary and middle school. He hated everything and he wanted to end it all, but he decided to hang on to life a little longer. When he met Hori, he thought that she was just being nice to him, but that was wrong. When he found out that he was just thinking negatively, he decided to suppress those thoughts little by little and enjoy the present with Hori and his friends. From being a lonely and depressed kid, he became someone who enjoyed life and had a lot of friends. To put myself in a great mood, I listened to cheerful music. A couple of years ago, I was having a great day. The sun was shining and the weather was great, so I decided to visit a friend. I put on my clothes, left the house, put my earphones in my ears and shuffled my music. The first song that played was a very cheerful song and I was vibing to it, but when the next song came up, it was a sad song and I entered a bad mood immediately. That made me know the power of music and how dangerous sad songs can be. When I felt myself slipping into a bad mood, I changed on to Billie Jean immediately and I started vibing again. Then when I go back to my house, I deleted all the sad songs on my phone. I started listening to songs from a lot of genres: hip-hop, Afrobeat, bossa nova, J-pop, Anison, all kinds of music. Call me polygenres, haha. Sakura also gained a lot from listening to cheerful music. She was suffering from a terminal disease and she was close to death, but she kept on being cheerful because she was a big fan of Ai and her music. Ai's music helped her stay cheerful and in a great mood, and it also helped her to die with a smile on her face. Music is really powerful. Another thing I did to keep myself in a great mood was writing my feelings. At this point, I was already recovering from depression. I was having fun, but at the most random times, I'll feel sad to think negatively, and sometimes I won't be in the mood to listen to music. What I did during those times was to write my feelings down. Sometimes I wrote songs about them, sometimes I wrote poems. Neither of those were good though. Sometimes I write them down, rhyme them, and try to rap them out, looking for ways to turn some of the lines into double entendres. It was really funny. I didn't keep a journal or diary. I just found a book that I wasn't using anymore and turned it to a dump for my thoughts, and it really helped me. Natsuo also used writing to cope with his pain. When he was depressed, he wrote a book which put all his feelings into words and it helped him heal. Writing is really soothing. Who knows, you might find that you have a talent for writing or turn it into a hobby like I did. Life was getting fun at this point, but I wanted to enjoy it more, so I lived in the moment. A year after I started watching anime, I discovered Gintama, which is the funniest anime I've ever watched and it taught me a lot of things. In the words of the Amanto, Gin lost everything. He lost his school, his master, his status, even the right to hold a real sword. There's nothing worse to a samurai than that. This was enough to make someone give up everything and commit seppuku, but Gin learned to enjoy life by living in the present and having fun. He carried a wooden sword around to replace his real sword. He made great friends and he did things that made him enjoy his life as much as possible, so I copied him. I decided to live in the moment and have as much fun as possible while ignoring the past, and it was great. This step did wonders for my mental health. Watching Gintama made me laugh a lot too, which felt great. I wanted to enjoy living in the present as much as possible, so I found new hobbies. I loved playing the keyboard, so anytime I felt like playing one, I went to visit my uncle who lived close to us. One day he said, "You love playing the keyboard a lot, so why don't you give this software a try?" And then he handed me a disc. That disc was FL Studio 10, a very old version of the program I used to make beats. The name sounded familiar, and then I remembered that some of the guys who bullied me in high school wanted to be musicians in the future, so they used FL Studio to make beats. That brought up some bad memories, but I knew that I didn't mean to do that, so I collected the disc and took it home. When I got home, I installed the software and that was the start of everything. I found a new hobby to lose myself in and it helped me have fun. I mean, making beats is still fun till now. I think Karen Makana went through the same thing. Her career was fading and she was a bit depressed, so she found a lot of things she could do apart from acting. She got into singing, she got into streaming, she got into a lot of stuff, and one of the things that she got into gave her another way to be popular, her singing skills. She used her singing to become an idol, and now she's a popular idol and actress. Now that I had a lot of hobbies, I decided to set goals. I'm not telling you to go to the gym or study a lot, just set a goal that will make you happy. If you're following these steps, you should be recovering by now, which is great. But setting a goal that's not easy could make you depressed again. Instead of setting goals like, I'll go to the gym or I'll learn a new language, set goals like, in Call of Duty, I'll be running for this new gun or character, or I'll learn this new skill move in FIFA, or I'll finish the story mode of that game. Those are goals that you enjoy the journey, and when you achieve them, you'll be very happy. I mean, look how happy Ashton was when he got back in the squad. He was a striker, but was suddenly told there'd be a fullback, something he didn't like and something he wasn't used to. He didn't do well at first, but when he got used to it and learned new things about football, he was very happy. He was always happy to train more, and he celebrated every new thing he learned and every small win he got. And at the end, he achieved one of his main goals, which was getting into the first team. Now I feel that I've recovered sooner if I talk to someone about my pain. I have a habit of keeping quiet about the things that bother me or the things that make me sad, and that made me go through everything alone. I didn't want the people around me to worry at all, so I suffered in silence, and honestly, that's not the best thing to do when you're suffering. Talk to someone you trust about your pain. It could be your mom, your dad, your sibling, your friend, or friends. That's if you have friends. It could be a therapist. Just talk to someone you trust. Talking to someone will make you feel better, and they'll try to help you through it. Akane suffered alone, and she told her friends and her mom that she was alright because she didn't want them to worry, even though she was at her breaking point. She couldn't bear it and she almost killed herself, but alcohol stopped her from doing it. When her friends knew what was going on, they helped her get through it and she enjoyed her life again. So, that's my story. It's a great story, huh? One more thing before I go. If you're watching this and you're very close to ending it all, I don't know exactly how you feel, but I get it. After all, I'm a human being that went through something similar, so all I can say is, please, just hold on a bit longer and follow these tips if you can. You deserve to stay alive to see the part of your life when things get really good. Trust me, they will. Thanks for watching. If my story resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share this video to anyone that needs it. You can also leave a comment, I'd love to read them. And if you're interested in the other parts of this video, it should be on the screen. It's a video about how anime taught me to be confident after the trauma I faced, and it's really good. It's one of my best videos. Don't forget to take care of yourself, drink water, watch anime, and have fun. And I'll see you in the next video. Jane.